All right, my name is Jide. Welcome to another tutorial series uh, by Mount Plus Logistics. Today, I'll be talking about food business. Are you looking for a business to start? Probably you have been thinking of what else to add to your daily job, 9 to 5 jobs, and you're thinking, researching of a business idea to start. Probably a food business would be a good business for you to start. So, food business. So previously, I talked about logistics, how critical logistics is to your business. But today I'm talking about food business. Why food business? What should you know about the food business? What are the strategies that you need to put in place to get your food business running? Now, how critical is food to you? How critical is food to your family? If I ask you, you've probably eaten today, right? Yeah? And if at all you are fasting, you are abstaining from food, what happens after your fasting? You're gonna eat. Food is something that is critical to our body systems. Just like oxygen, we cannot do without food. And food does not know whether you are rich or poor. As a rich man sometimes needs food and becomes hungry and needs food, so is a poor man. So whether you are poor or you are rich, you're gonna eat food. Whether you are young or old, you're gonna eat food. And even if a sick person does not have appetite for food, one way or the other, he or she will still have to get nutrients, either by injection or by infusion. Or whichever means the food must get to the body, or whatever form, because a sick person who doesn't even have appetite for food needs food one way or the other. We eat food every day. Food is our life. Food is our culture. Okay? So, food is so essential that if you go into the food business, you have a well structured business plan and you have way enough skilled hands to manage the business, you will never go out of business. If you see any food business that's going to bankruptcy today, most likely it is because it is poorly managed. Okay, most food businesses that go bankrupt do not go bankrupt because they do not have customers. In fact, customers are already available for your food business. Okay, it's not a business that you begin to rack your head of where to get customers. Any person you see around you is a potential customer of your food business. Okay, so food business has an already made market. So once you understand how to run a food business successfully, you are made. You don't have problem with customer because everybody is your customer. So that aside, food business. Are you looking to start a food business? What are the things you need to know? Um, it is important to understand the value chain of the business you want to start. So I always tell people that whichever industry you intend to go into, you must understand the value chain. Value chain. So what's the value chain? So value chain is a series of interconnected activities that is critical to the operations of that industry. For example, I'm talking about food business today. If I say what is the value chain of food business, it's a series of interconnected activities that must happen for food to be delivered to the final consumer. So we can explain the value chain in food business as a series of interconnected activities from the origin or the source of the food. in this case, we can say probably the farm. So a series of interconnected activities that ensures delivery of good quality food from the source, either from the farm or from the manufacturer to the final consumer. So think of the interconnected activities that's happening between the time a farmer goes to the farm, okay, and then from that time up to the point that the food gets to the final consumer, where he or she can buy it or where she can get it to eat. So from farm, for example, to the grocery store, okay? So every activity, economic activity that goes on in between the farm and the grocery store, or let's say between the manufacturer of the food item to the consumer, every activity that is involved. So imagine all the activities that go on between the time the product is manufactured and to the time it's consumed. In elementary school, I can remember when I was taught factors of production, chain of production, value chain in production, I was taught there is the manufacturer, there is the wholesaler, there is the retailer, and there is the consumer. So in between the manufacturer and the consumer, let's assume we have the wholesaler and we have the retailer. So we can consider those as the value chain, critical value chain, value positions along the food value chain. So, but it is much more complex than that. So advancing in study and understanding market dynamics makes you understand that quite a number of people are involved in the processes from the time that the product is manufactured to the time that the consumer consumes the food. So starting your food business, let's say you want to start a plantain chips packaging business. So your thinking should not be just starting a plantain chips business, packaging business. You want to identify every critical supplies that you will need for your business and who is in charge of those supplies and how they affect your food packaging business. So if you take a plantain packaging business, for example, or let's say you have plantain chips packaging. How should you think about this business? It's not just about packaging, getting plantain chips and packaging. You must sit down and have a thorough thinking of what goes into plantain chips packaging. So can you give me some of the things that goes into plantain chips packaging? Okay, from what I write, you can deduce this packaging, isn't it? Plantain itself. Okay. So the first question is, where do you source your plantain from? Where do you get your packaging from? How are you going to ensure that your packaging is compatible with the plantain? Okay. What is the best way? Where do you source the cheapest plantain at the highest quality? That is how you begin to think of your food business. If you don't, how many suppliers can you get to supply you the plantain that you need? Plantain is it's an agricultural product. Do you think it's going to be affected by seasons? Is it seasonal? If plantain is seasonal and you intend to run a business that is not seasonal, so what machinery are you going to put in place to ensure that you get a regular supply of your plantain for your evergreen, or let me say non-seasonal business that always must have plantain chips to supply its customers? So that's how you think about business. So oftentimes people start food business not thinking of the business side of the business. So don't ever make a mistake if you ever want to be successful in your food business thinking like a consumer. You need to shift your mindset from being a consumer to be a businessman or a woman. So a businessman or a woman is not just thinking of plantain chips, it's thinking of every other thing that makes the packaged plantain chips available. So enough of plantain chips packaging. Now let's talk about food business. Food business could be any business that is into either manufacturing, production, packaging, shipping of food items or food products. What you could just do is probably you identify the food value chain and position yourself along the food value chain, and then you can say you are in food business. But what I really want to focus on in this video is if it's the manufacturing and packaging of food items. Okay, manufacturing and packaging of food items. So this will be the focus of today's video. You want to go into, you are thinking of starting the manufacturing and packaging of food items. Okay, so let's quickly look into that. Why do you want to start the food manufacturing and packaging business of food packaging of food items? I believe the first thing that you already have is you already discovered that there is a market for your products. Don't ever make the mistake of going to food business without already seeing the gap in the market that you want to fill up here. That's part of what I mean by thinking like a businessman or woman. You want to ascertain that the products, the food items you're going to manufacture and package and market, let me put marketing, okay, because the food items or the food products you intend to manufacture, package and market has a demand in your locality. You know, it looks like it's going to contradict what I earlier said, that there's already made market for food items. Yes, but you need to do a research to be sure that in your market, that area in which you intend to market your food products, there's a demand for it in there. Let me take a food item for example. Let me take this is gari. Gari is a popular food in the West African region, made from cassava. So gari is a staple in West Africa that is highly consumed and very famous for its energy giving abilities and nutritional value. This product is famous in Africa, in West Africa, in Ghana, in Nigeria. But if you come to North America, where there are no Nigerians and there are no Africans, you probably would not have a strong market for this product. But then, what if in the North America, we begin to identify that the numbers of Africans or West Africans has begun to increase sufficiently enough to justify marketing Gary in that market? Yes, that means now in North America, you now have enough markets to start marketing your packaged Gary products. So if you had started marketing Gary in North America rather, where there are no people that know about Gary or that take Gary, you wouldn't be profitable. But is Gary a profitable business? Yes, but not in North America, but in Africa. But a time could come that you have sufficient number of people in North America that will justify you marketing Gary to North America. So in manufacturing and packaging of your food items is marketing. Some businessmen and women, or people that intend to start food business, focus on manufacturing. I know, because sometimes our background influences our decisions and how we see life. I have a background in manufacturing. While I was in Nigeria, I was a production pharmacist, so I was actually actively involved in manufacturing of pharmaceuticals. So I was involved in quality control, in daily production, and ensuring that the drugs meet quality standard. So I see things from the manufacturing perspective. I also see things from packaging perspective, because after the manufacturing of those items, they would be packaged, and both these must meet regulatory standards. And in case of Nigeria, it was NAFDAC. Okay, so I have a strong background in manufacturing and packaging. So if I'm coming into food business, there's a high likelihood that I will see the food business from the manufacturing and packaging perspective. Okay, but that is not enough to guarantee the success of your business, of your food business. So probably you have once started a food business and you are not successful. Probably it is because you have focused majorly on one aspect of food business and have not considered the other aspect of food business. Yeah, probably you have been focusing on manufacturing of the food items, or probably you are focused on the packaging and you neglected the marketing, or probably you focused on the marketing and you neglected the manufacturing of that food product. So, but whatever it is, this video is to take you back to the basics of how you can make your food business to be successful. Okay, so back to my analogy of Gary. Gary is well known in West Africa, but probably not known in North America before now. But I think now Gary is becoming well known in Africa, in North America, because a lot of Nigerians, a lot of Ghanaians, Africans are moving to North America, moving to different parts of the world, and their numbers are significantly increasing to generate big markets for Gary. So do you get it now? So starting a food business, the first question you ask yourself, is there a market for this product where you intend to market the product? So we have Africa, we have North America. Okay, there are products that are well known in North America, And if you package such products and market it in Africa, it will not sell. Because even though it's a food item that is profitable in North America, but because the market is not in Africa, it will not be profitable unless we have a migration or movement of people from this area to Africa that will justify having a market in Africa. So don't forget that you need a research for your food business to be sure that what you intend to business you intend to start has a market for it that is strong enough to give you profit for your endeavors. So do you get it now? So now, after you have identified a gap, you found a market. Okay, number one, I said market. Market means your potential buyers. Okay, so you have identified a market, a potential buyers. You've been able to project for the next 1 year, 5 years, 10 years that there's going to be um, an increase in the size of the market, and you already planning on how to target that market. So what do you do? What is the next thing you do? The next thing is, how do you go about supplying your food items, your food products to the market? That now comes to markets. After markets, we have the manufacturing and packaging. So after you've identified the market, then you can go to marketing, to manufacturing, and what? And packaging. So now you have a viable business idea that you can now go ahead and do your manufacturing and packaging. But don't forget, if you are a small business owner that is just starting and limited budget, okay, so I don't usually suggest starting manufacturing and packaging immediately. So I usually suggest becoming a wholesaler, okay, a wholesaler or a retailer of that food item, because it is a business sense, okay, it's business wisdom. You will need a larger capital, and you're taking a larger risk if you decide to go into manufacturing and packaging of that food product when you are just starting the business. So when you are just starting business, you have no data to rely on, you have no profitability data to rely on, you are not even sure whether you are going to be successful in the business. So there is no justification to take on the risk of manufacturing and packaging. So there's a higher risk with manufacturing, higher risk for you as a small business owner or medium scale business owner. There's higher risk for you taking up manufacturing and packaging of the food items or the food products if you are just starting. So to mitigate the risk, to lower your risk of starting the food business, you could choose either of these options, starting as a wholesaler. Don't forget the chain of production from producer to wholesaler to retailer to the consumer. You want to position yourself as a wholesaler for the product item that is for the food product that is not available in your market, and which you want to be a supplier or a supplier of that food product. So by becoming a wholesaler, you are going to have the food product at a very discounted price because you are going to be buying in large quantity. So because you are going to be buying in large quantity, you are going to be buying on a scale, and therefore you're going to be getting it at a much cheaper cost per unit item, which you can mark up and then sell to make some profit. So while starting the food business, okay, in a less risky way, you are also getting a traction of the market. You are also testing the waters. You are also gathering data of the profitability and what the market really is all about. Okay, so starting as a wholesaler or starting as a retailer, you are shifting your focus from manufacturing and its challenges. You are shifting your focus from having to deal with machineries, with equipment, with operators, with meetings, regulatory standards, and all those stuff that is associated with manufacturing and packaging. You are, like, in quotes, outsourcing those ones to the manufacturer of the product. So what you are majorly concerned now with is, as a wholesaler or retailer, you are now concerned with warehousing, okay, and distribution. Okay, so that is what you are more concerned with now, which is less riskier than manufacturing and packaging. So you are now concerned with how to source your product, your food items from this manufacturer, that is, in which it has already been packaged. How to source them in large quantity, bring them to your store or warehouse, inventory them, okay, and distribute them to your customers. So in that way, you have reduced your risk. So if at all the food business is not going to be profitable, your losses on it will not be as much as if you invest in equipment, in machineries, in personnel, in training, everything. Okay, so that is a strategy you can employ starting a food business. But this is different from somebody that already has an established market, knows knows and understands the supply chain, the value chain in the food industries, knows price fluctuations, knows off-peak season, knows peak seasons, knows the critical factors that affect the business, and knows how to navigate the market. So such persons can invest directly into the manufacturing and packaging of the food items. Yeah. And one thing is that food business is highly regulated. As I'm speaking now, I'm speaking from Canada, Ontario, Canada. Okay. So the Canadian Food Inspection Agency is a body in Canada that regulates packaging, manufacturing, import and exporting of food. They are very strict with food manufacturing, packaging, and marketing. So as a new business owner, you may just decide not to be bothered with those headache of regulation and just start as a wholesaler. And then from there, the more expertise and markets you gain, okay, the more equipped you are to go into the manufacturing and packaging of food items. Food business is lucrative in North America, especially in Canada. I was reading a report recently that says that the food manufacturing industry is the largest employer of labor in Canada. Okay, so it's a very big industry and it's actively expanding. The more the population grows, the more expanding the food industry is. The bigger the market. So the bigger the population, the bigger the market. So food business has a market that is always growing. So that's why I said at the beginning of this video that if you're looking for a business to start, probably should consider the food business. But because it has already made market does not mean you are excused from doing your research, putting in the work to understand how to enter the market. Firstly, to identify the market, which I stated here. Do you have potential buyers? And secondly, whether to start manufacturing it and packaging it yourself, or to start as a wholesaler or retailer. Okay, so while I was in Nigeria and I worked as a production pharmacist or manufacturing associate in one pharmaceutical industry, I learned the power of having a market for your products even before you market, even before you start manufacturing. Okay, so the person, in my opinion, well, some people have a different opinion, but in my opinion, the person that has access to the market, that has a market, okay, is superior to the person that manufactures and doesn't have a market. So if I have to choose between having a market for a product and being a manufacturer or packager of a product, I would rather choose having a market for that product. Because if you manufacture the best product, best packaged product without a market, would not fly. Okay, so but if you have a market that is already ready to buy any products from wherever you are, wherever you bring it to that market, would readily sell because you have a market. So what this company was run, or is being run, by a family, and before they started manufacturing their own brand of products, they already established a market by being a distributor of the drugs they intend to manufacture. So they had already been a distributor of a wide variety of brands of drugs of medications. Okay, so in Nigeria we use drugs, but in North America drugs means something different. Okay, I think I heard recently of somebody that was arrested in UK, a Nigerian that was arrested in UK for using the word drug instead of medication. So I intended to say they invested in distribution of medications. So they already had established customer bases before they started manufacturing their own medications or pharmaceuticals. So it's a good strategy that goes and is applicable to food business. You want to start probably as a wholesaler or retailer, have a strong market for the food products you intend to manufacture, so that when you have a ground, you have an established market base, you understand the customer behavior towards in that area, then you can invest for the long term. Now you can commit to the long term by investing in manufacturing, packaging. Okay, so I don't want this video to be longer than this. I hope you have been able to get one or two things from today's tutorial series by Multiplus Logistics. So Multiplus Logistics simplifies product sourcing, packaging and shipping across Nigeria, Canada and China. So if you are looking to source your products from Nigeria or Canada or China today, we can provide simple simplified solution for you that will make your shipping and procurement cost effective, and it keeps you competitive in the market. Thank you for watching this video. Till next time, I'll come with another wonderful topic. Do have a nice time. Bye.